I've never seen it.
I tried to learn basic Japanese before I went to Japan on Duolingo, and I literally just got an email a couple minutes ago that said, "How do you say quitter in Japanese?" From Duolingo.
That owl talks
Isn't the owl like
shit.
mean on the internet?
What the fuck, dude? Like,
Yeah.
lay off. I already went to Japan, and I already failed miserably.
I'm back, and I forgot this, and
Yeah.
I returned it.
And I-
Arigato, owl-san. Now, if you'll excuse me.
How do you say quitter? Suck my dick.
Also, it's your fault I don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, you should have done your job, Mr. Owl.
Instead of teaching me rice and water, you could have taught me how to talk
you
shit.
probably should have learned rice and water.
I don't know.
Or,
This feels like stuff
no
like
idea.
you're close enough to point at that.
Yeah. A lot of pointing was good.
Anyways. I had a couple things here. This has Never Seen It. I'm your host, Kyle Ayers. This is the podcast where comedians rewrite famous movies they've never seen before, except today, which is All Games Day, here on the podcast, joined once again by Jeff May. Thanks for being here, Jeff.
I'm the All Games Day guy.
You're here, and I'm excited. These are all new games.
Ooh.
Or the return of a nightmarish game people have said I should never do again.
I'm so excited.
I'm very excited. This is a good way of saying I don't have time to do a script.
Yeah,
bring me in to wing something.
definitely. Also joined once again by Lindsay Adams,
Hello.
who was here for one iteration of one of these new games as well.
Oh, my God.
The Oscar nominations came out today. I want to talk about that at the end, though.
Okay.
We can
Good.
talk
That's
about how
good.
we
Nobody's
feel all
talked
that.
about those today,
I'll be
so.
the person to cover that.
Okay.
I looked it up. Some movies did get nominated.
Did they?
Again, for like the millionth year in a row.
Whoa.
Have you been? I think I actually have talked about this on here before. To the Chinese theater where they list all the movies that have won Oscars are listed up on pillars at the Chinese theater in Hollywood. So it'll be like it'll show like last year and show it has the names of all of them all the way back to the history of the Academy Awards. But then it has blank pillars for like 2024, 2025, 2026, and it goes to like 2090.
What?
They know something.
It's such optimism.
That's the Hollywood version of the Mayan calendar.
It is. You had me at when you said the Hollywood version of Mayan. I was about to be like, I think I know which one. Oh, calendar. Okay.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. There's no way. There's no world where there's Academy Awards in 2090.
Well, we're not going to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best dry film.
Right.
We're all just drowning,
Most
yeah.
water.
Yeah.
Was there water?
Just Water World.
Can
is
we
written
have water?
2065? It's just retroactive Water World.
Only movie with physical media.
Yeah.
The winner. The movie this year was, or some. We pooled our resources
Yeah.
to shoot this movie this year, and we all watched it on a phone.
Yeah. So movie 43 part 2.
It's movie least like one of the Mad Maxes.
It's called escapist fiction at that point.
I cannot. I just can't believe. I don't believe it.
My
Just
height.
a recreation from a space station.
Mediumest length TikTok.
My max of information on Oscars of the past is going on the Universal tour. When they drive down and they're like, "Remember this movie from 1934? We won an award from that."
Yeah,
I
And-
love
yeah.
the tour.
Yeah.
I've
It's
never
like-
been on any of them.
Universal
It's fun.
is the best. It's so good.
I haven't been to Universal Studios before.
Really?
Just to go to the movie theater.
Do you like adventure and whimsy?
Yeah,
Oh,
It is good, yeah.
I should go.
I think it's better. I like it better than Disney. Something in me is hateful towards Disney, and I
That
don't.
seems okay.
It
Yeah,
is.
that's good.
It might be the Jew in me, but I think it is.
It could be just the soul. Yeah.
There's something that's so like anti, but for some
Sure.
reason I don't feel like Universal lies about who they are.
I guess like being a Universal person, like I dated a girl who was from a Pepsi family once.
Okay.
Where
Is
they were, like-
Universal Pepsi and
And
Disney
I feel
is
like
Coke?
like being into Universal is
Yeah.
being like from a Pepsi family, where you're like, it's actually better, but like you're all buying the branding of the other thing.
Well, I just feel like it makes me feel like a sheep.
To go to Disney?
Yeah.
I've never been to Disney either.
Also, you're spending half.
I depending on the day, I do or can't like think about heavy Disney adults, and I mean like Disney adults who are heavily into it. Not because most Disney adults are heavy, but heavily into it. Disney adults.
I have a lot
is
of
what I
friends.
mean, and I'm like I
Unfortunately have a handful of friends.
You think like people oftentimes become like realtors or things like that, was sort of like you kind of didn't, you can just be in the Midwest where I'm from. The big thing is not to become a real estate agent, which is a thing. It's to become a Disney trip planner for other people you went to high school with.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, I know 3. And that's a lot,
Shut
right?
up.
I know 3, and one of them is a former kindergarten teacher who I think this is the job that should exist for her.
Yeah.
Because teaching is a grind. Being a kindergarten teacher is an insane thing. And she has the patience and the joy and the whimsy to be a kindergarten teacher, but doesn't like the politics of teaching, especially in Missouri. Get out of it. Work with Disney, circa Disney. That kind of makes sense to me.
Right.
But it's crazy.
Yeah.
Is this not the internet?
So with Universal, you can get a gold pass for like $300. That's like free parking forever.
Yeah.
And it's like you get money. You get like you save money every time you buy something there. It's like it's the best.
I mean, that sentence doesn't seem real.
No, it's like you get, well, it's like you buy.
You're buying
you get
stuff.
like 15%. Yeah, but like you're gonna eat.
True.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're like
Also,
stuff
you
you
could
would have
just
spent money
bring-
on anyways doing this. You save money.
When I lived in Hollywood, I would go to City Walk for the AMC there.
Yeah.
And honestly, that was so fun.
That's where I
for
go.
me.
I go to the City Walk
Because
AMC.
it's
I love
the
it.
best AMC.
Park
It's
for free
really
with a
nice.
gold pass.
I do spend $5 to park every single time.
I know, but $5, it's like...
I could just take the train is what I should honestly do. I'm pretty close to the stop, and it's probably just as fast. But me no want to.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's like me throwing a little
fair.
fit, you know?
Yeah.
I do love City Walk. The Taco Bell's too expensive.
City Walk is a delight.
I know.
I ate at the Hard Rock there as a bit once, and it was like one of the best meals I've ever had.
I just went to the what is the Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville.
yeah.
I like
Oh
to
my
go
God,
there.
was it great?
leave
I
some
would-
flowers out.
Yeah.
By the,
It's these places are sad because they're too big.
Yeah.
And now people don't go to them as much. And so they have one server working.
9 tables
For not
total.
right
yeah.
out of 50.
Served,
And
yeah.
you're like, was this really big enough at one point to have this full band permanent setup?
So I went to like the preview night for Mario World because one of my friends was the designer.
That's the Universal
the
Studios
Nintendo-
Mario
yes.
experience.
So we went to like meet up with them to get drinks that night, and the restaurant we went to on City was like packed. It was like filled to the
Whoa.
brim, and I was like, oh, nighttime. That's when stuff starts happening. Everyone's in the
Yeah.
park.
Yeah,
During
you got
the
once
day.
you light up that gorilla.
There used to be a comedy club there.
John Lovitz's comedy club.
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly. I performed there once, and it was abysmal. It's
Bad. It's very bad.
Is it still there?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
I don't. Everything there that's little, I understand, like the voodoo donuts. That's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
one person can be in at a time. That's really. And then there's the massive, massive stage outside the AMC where people DJ sometimes, which I
was
find to
just
be
gonna-
bonkers. I'm like, can we just get a bucket and start an open mic at that?
Or like
So-
dance teams.
Yes.
They love putting dance teams.
Or
in there.
young singers. I've seen singer-songwriters that are like trying to like break, quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
and that hurts my feelings to see that.
You know, I would say yeah, but like if you ever look back at like these like NSYNC and like
Sure.
Backstreet Boys and stuff, and it's always them doing that specific thing, and you're like, well, you
But
guys
I
are
don't.
following
I
the
think the
path.
equivalent of that is TikTok now and YouTube.
Sure.
I don't feel like you
Yeah.
actually have to stand on a stage in front of like a bunch of toddlers running around with no shoes.
I
on.
wonder if every industry still has one or two gatekeepers that completely resist any of that, and they're like, "Do it for me live in front of me,
I
boy!"
know. Yeah.
And they like shoot cap guns at your feet while you dance.
That's what it feels like.
Like, hey, I'm just trying to make cooking videos.
You don't step up against big stage.
Yeah, it's I do love that AMC.
There's
I love the AMC A-list pass. I just went and saw the
Same.
Wonka.
How was it?
Good.
I saw the Godzilla.
Is there a lot of
just saw
Godzillas
Godzilla
happening?
-1.
I know this is how little I know about movies right now. I'm like, are there a lot of Godzillas these days?
This was the first movie I saw. I have the A-list. This was the first movie I saw in like 5 months.
It was
Yeah.
I haven't seen many. I saw.
We do have to acknowledge. I think there's a motorcycle
Yeah.
That's Godzilla.
sitting outside.
I know it does seem like it's. Can we? Should we stop?
That was a release.
Yeah.
Right there.
Can you believe the nerve of people in the evening after work to
Put their vehicle
work
in
on
the
something?
garage. Yeah.
I mean, look, if you want to drive a death machine on your time, that's fine.
What's,
but don't bring it
will
into
you
this
shoot me this-
podcast.
what's
What a
this
cool
code?
way to die. I would say that. If I wanted to die and I wanted people to like feel bad about it, I'd get a motorcycle.
Oh, and just splatter on someone?
Oh yeah, I'd Sons of Anarchy right at the end.
I mean, I don't think you'd have to like do it. You could just split traffic, and I think some people hate people who split traffic so much they sort of want to edge into that.
Let me be that.
You want to be that guy?
That's how I want to go.
So scary.
But I want to die in my bed like a nerd.
I want to
do.
go soon.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if we're listing hows or whys or
Yeah.
when. I'm doing the whens.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like I'm ready.
Well, I do an enormous amount of work every day just to not kill myself. So
Yeah.
Gonna be the darkest show because
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
all like,
so this is the Godzilla.
we're all vaguely suicidal.
I've
right
already
now.
checked out, got my checklist. I meditated, gratitude listed. If it happens, it happens. God bless.
I mean, I have been working on this show about suicide and this brain disease, and I came
Yeah.
last night. We talked about it at the show great fun time last night.
I know. Thank you.
Really did a Lindsay stand-up show at
Yes,
Senor
and you have
Fish,
to do it.
the Eagle
Wonderful.
Rock.
Oh, love it.
Yes.
I don't want. It's impossible for me to have any commentary on the show without people being able to track back who I'm commentarying
I know
about.
it's unfortunate, but we'll talk about it off air.
But I believe that Kate Berlant and John Early should be charging a lot of comedians
I agree.
for how they act.
Oh, really? Like that?
I think that throughout time there have been about 3 or 4 comedians at a time that should be receiving residual checks from people under 26 and who are getting going. And maybe it's at no fault of their own because your influences play through. But sometimes I think specifically that you should be able to be like, you owe me something for that.
I think Bill Burr has a lot of residuals coming from the young male.
Oh, I think that he definitely does.
Like he's got. Cause I went to the improv mic a couple of years ago, first and last time, and like I saw 5 dudes that were just Bill Burring their way through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's just something. Yeah, it's so hard when you can just spot. It's like, oof, that's a Kate Berlant, John Early. Like, it's just so specific.
Like the Louis C.K.'s of 2013.
That's exactly what it was when I was going to open mics in New York. You were just like, this is like everyone's doing this. It's 1 or 2 or 3 people. Anyways, back to the podcast. So there's a Godzilla out.
Godzilla -1. It's a delight.
You liked it?
Oh my god, it was incredible.
I saw it, but I fell asleep for an hour.
I love Godzilla movies.
You keep falling asleep for an hour during movies.
I do. I fall asleep for a solid hour, and then I'm back in.
You need A-list for that because there's no. If you're paying for tickets,
Oh no, I have A-list.
Okay, good. Yeah,
There's a comedian. I can't remember who it was. Someone I did a show with. I follow them. I cannot remember who it was. They have A-list and they go see the movies over a couple days. So they went and saw Killers of the Flower Moon and then left like an hour in, and then the next day came back knowing how long into the showing they needed to show up. And they were like, every time I do this, the person's like, this started an hour ago. And they're like, I know this started exactly an hour ago. Like, I'm just back to continue watching this movie.
That's actually incredible. Does anybody have an A-list podcast?
It's just a podcast called A List. It's just very difficult to Google.
Life on the A-list. I used to use it whenever my ex would be flying in to LAX, and she'd be like, "You have to come get me."
At the time, it was called LAGF.
Yes.
And she would be like, "You have to come get me at 6 p.m." And I'd be like, I'm going to go into Marina Del Rey at 4 p.m. and I'm going to go to the movies.
Great call.
And then I'm going to have a flash announcement for when your plane lands, and I'm going to get the hell out of here and leave and just go get you. And it would that's how I saw half of most movies.
I mean, getting to the airport is sort of like building something.
Yeah,
like I'm not going to do this all
I was like, I'm not doing it in rush hour traffic. I'll do it before rush hour traffic and then watch half of the Halloween
I'll watch
reboot.
Rush Hour and Traffic, and then I'll go pick you up. This is a 5-hour double feature I have.
But it was like, that was a good use of A-list, was just being like, I'm going to
use.
kill time in a place. And that was the one in Marina Del Rey was the one that brings you food.
Oh, that's
if
great.
you order it. So I'm like, I guess I'm going to have some chicken. I'm going to have some terrible food brought to me instead of having to wait for my terrible food.
I'll say this, though. I used to think that was the coolest thing in the world when they would bring you food. That's like a dream.
It is.
But you're eating it in the dark, and I found that actually got incredibly difficult.
Yeah, ketchup knuckles and
Well,
stuff.
no, I also just couldn't find my mouth.
Okay, well, that's...
Can you see your mouth in the light?
I feel like you're supposed
You
to...
can see it okay right now to get to?
I think I couldn't see.
Lindsay, are you a baby?
I couldn't see my hands well enough. I couldn't
DUI checkpoints are hard.
This is crazy. This is object permanence. Isn't that what this is? This is why Peekaboo works on babies.
I know. Well, no, it's
You got to get a feel for the distance between.
Well, you have to get a feel, and you have to get the depth perception, and then you have to get an idea of how big the mouthful is. So, for me, I have to understand how much popcorn I'm going to shove in my face. I have the same thing. If you look at me after a movie, there's popcorn everywhere.
This is like Memento, where you have to
You have a tattoo that says you only need a small popcorn at the movies, but in reverse across your chest.
half a handful.
Popcorn raped and killed my wife. Just going up and down.
God forbid. I hope Joey Pantoliano isn't in a movie you see.
It's hard. I watched Lindsay try and shove a Polaroid back into the camera for 15 minutes. Oh, man. Well, I went and saw the Wonka, and Wonka... I have the weirdest. I liked it a lot.
I heard it's delightful.
Hugh Grant was so good at being the Oompa Loompa. I don't know why they made him so. Oompa Loompas were dwarf-sized in the original
Sure.
because they were played.
Well, you know what they were in the book, right?
No.
Like African slaves.
Okay.
Shut up.
They were like African pygmies. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
well then
that
Hugh Grant
sucks.
nailed the accent.
Yeah.
No, so in this one he's like the size of like your water bottle. And I'm like, it made me feel
That is jarring.
He fit in a jar that was
Yeah.
basically like what the rose withers in Beauty and the Beast. Like he gets trapped in something that size.
That should be
Yeah.
killed.
And I couldn't. And I'm like, I remember these being like, why couldn't he? If you're going to do this whole thing where you make it Hugh Grant, at least just keep them like a size.
Yeah.
He's
a
like a
medium
foot
guy.
tall, and because they're played by humans in the last one and not someone's face on a little
Right.
thing.
Yeah,
I
but
think
he
the-
was so good. He
the-
cared so much.
The little person community was not a fan of this, from what I
No.
understand. They were like, hey, we get like 8 roles a year, and they're all
Yeah,
Ewoks.
yeah.
They're all like non-human.
Yeah.
So maybe we could get like the people thing again, and they're like, we have Hugh Grant. He's having a bit of a
did do a
thing
good
right
job.
now. Oh, it was great. It was great in Dungeons and Dragons too.
He was good in Dungeons. I love that movie. Here's the weird thing, because Olivia Colman is so good in Wonka. Everyone
all
is
of the
in
other
everything
things, yeah.
ever. Everyone is very good. The world is very good. It's a little tough. I tried to keep in mind the whole time. I don't know if I'm projecting to enjoy it more. That like Wonka is jaded in Gene Wilder's Wonka
he's
is like
over it,
over it
yeah.
and jaded. But the part I liked the least about this was Timothée Chalamet.
Oh,
and he
interesting.
tried so hard and cared more than you could like see it like oozing. He loves this.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you just don't have a funny face. You just can't make funny faces, and you just
He's too beautiful.
You're not
Yeah.
charismatic enough, which is a wild thing to say about like the biggest movie star in the world. But I don't think he like has.
He smolders
He doesn't
a
have
little
get
bit.
away with it charisma.
Yeah.
No, he has. I mean, he has charming charisma.
He has looks that
Yeah,
let him
he's-
get away
he's
with
a
it, and like he
beautiful
doesn't have
boy,
talk
yeah.
your way out of it. Comedian
No.
charisma.
Yeah, he looks-
but he cared, and he tried so hard it didn't bother me at all. And there's so many songs, and they're very weird.
Oh, that's what I heard. It's a musical. It's
Like
a
even more
surprise
than
musical.
the first one was a musical,
Oh,
which is
really?
just him singing on his own. There's probably like 10 full-fledged 4-minute songs.
I also feel like when movies come out and people are like, this is not the thing I grew up with, and we're like, correct. The thing you grew up with is fine.
Yeah, I don't know how to break
like-
it to you. The thing you grew up with was back then.
That's like a
I looked it up.
I see a lot of times too. Like this happens in like the nerd community, or like they did the Masters of the Universe. Like they did He-Man. They did a new thing, and it was like really well written. Like Kevin Smith was like the head writer or whatever, showrunner.
That's someone who cares about what he cares about more than anyone.
And
I
all
was
of
talking
these,
about him last night.
Yeah.
a lot of these fans got like so. Wait, what?
We were just talking about Kevin Smith last
We were
night.
Oh,
Talking
talking.
about
I thought you
me
said
and
I
Sam.
met him last
No.
night.
We were
I was
talking
like,
to
oh,
Kevin
that's
Smith
weird.
last. Yeah, he was one of the audience members
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
stand-up show.
That does
One
happen.
of the 5 ones.
That happens.
Probably. I couldn't see him making it far enough away from Burbank to get to Eagle Rock, and it's 200 yards.
I will say I was surprised once to see Anthony Kiedis at West Side, and then I was like, never mind. I'm not surprised
Yeah.
about this at all.
That's so
A
wild.
club near a beach in California. Yeah, you're gonna be here. So, like when they got really mad because they're like, "This isn't my He-Man." It's like, yeah, your He-Man was bad.
Yeah.
like this cartoon was
Yeah.
just a commercial to sell us toys,
Yeah.
and we loved not paying taxes. Like we loved
Still
being
do.
able to run around outside and not have bills.
Still describing me.
Yes. But like now that they're jaded, they're like, this is not what I grew up with. It's like nothing ever will be.
Yeah.
Nothing will
It's
ever
hard
be
to
the
explain
thing
to
you grew
people
up
that
with.
stuff isn't for you anymore. I experienced this. This is a shift with Chiefs football now.
Oh, with,
and
like,
the influx of new fans because of Taylor Swift.
Oh.
And I am indifferent on Taylor Swift. She seems great.
Yeah,
I
she seems
don't
fine.
think it's on me to invest a bunch of time to figure out whether or not I like her because it doesn't matter.
I think she does
Yeah.
good.
She seems great. She seems
She-
great.
she
And she's
seems
there
like
and
she
she's cheering and
does
she's a good fan.
good.
And the amount of
Yeah.
people who are 10 years older than me who are like, why they keep cutting to her? It's like, well, you want to watch an ad?
Yeah.
Like, what
Also-
is the alternative?
Also,
ad?
she's the most famous,
the most famous person in the world.
world.
This is the most famous person in the world. This is not just some famous person showing up. And now
People
I'm
also act like ESPN is not just an entertainment channel.
Owned by
They're-
Disney.
Owned by Disney, yeah.
Like what?
Universal.
I
would
like
do
to
that.
call sports fans Disney adults because they watch a lot of ESPN, and I'm like, oh, you're one of those Disney adults.
Yeah.
It's all just whatever. I think it's fun. I mean, it helps that it's my team, but I don't care. They've never once missed a single second of football, and you've missed People complained that they showed it too much on Peacock, and it was during a commercial-free quarter Peacock was doing. They're like, we're not showing commercials in the fourth quarter, and everyone's like, great. And then they would show people in the stands like, what? Stop.
Yeah.
It's like, do you want an ad for deodorant?
Yeah,
what do you want to be happening?
Or do you want an ad for music?
Not everything is for you. And this is what I try. You know what? It's crazy if you're a 46-year-old guy. I'm sorry. Not all of football is for you anymore. You can either accept it and let everyone enjoy this, or you can resist it and be a joke.
I know like 5 famous people under 30. Like I look at like all these people that are like,
oh, you mean like, you don't mean personally? You mean
no.
like,
I mean like,
sorry,
like,
I got excited.
Sorry, I apologize. But like when you see the people like that hit, and they're like really famous, and they're like they have like 30 million followers on Instagram, and I'm like, I've never seen this person.
This is a wild
life.
thing to realize is that Taylor Swift is like a older celebrity.
She is.
She's in her 30s.
She's 34.
And she's of the generation like the Miley Cyrus, the Selena Gomez, where I was like, ugh, these little Disney stars, and now they're in their 30s and they're like singing about.
Hurts.
I know Miley Cyrus has a song where it was like "When I Was Young," and I was like, "Whoa,
Wait,
God!"
You're like, I was an adult when that happened. Yeah.
No, like, I just heard it on the radio the other day, and I was just like, "Wait, what?"
I won't feel old until LeBron James retires because he's still slam dunking over people. He's 39 years old.
Yeah.
He's older enough than me that he doesn't feel like my age.
Yeah.
And he's still like, I'm like, everyone who plays in the NBA must be LeBron James age. And he's like dunking on someone's grandson that he played against. So as long as he's around, that makes me feel like I'm still youth.
Right.
I get so like when I'll go like boxing, sometimes I'll be sparring, and I guess I'm in decent enough shape, and I have experience at 42 that I can like last for a while. And these young kids will come in, and I'm like, I'm 3 times your age. Why am I and then I say that, and I just start to wither in the ring when I say that out loud.
Oh, that's
like I'm triple.
Yeah, I
your
mean,
age.
it's a difference between like me like watching something and you fist fighting a boy.
I know.
I mean, they're adult. They're 18. You know.
Okay.
That's bonkers. I don't know. I'm pretty happy to see the celebrities I grew up with get old.
Yeah, it feels nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
To see them fall apart.
Well,
to see the life unfurl.
I love-
or the opposite is that a lot of the people that I grew up with have already had their spiritual journey where they're also trying to meditate so they don't kill themselves.
Sure.
That's huge.
Except they're like in a really big lean-to in Joshua Tree.
No, it's relatable up to a point.
Right. They're like, I actually got Harry Styles to play my lean-to.
The thing about like Taylor Swift and fame, like I want to talk to kids, big kid listener here, but like when they like idolize certain celebrities, and I'm just like, do you want that life? That's got to be like, I understand that like
Let 'em feel
she's doing great financially,
I feel like they want it.
but at the same time you want to be like, hey, what do you think her life is like?
I mean, I noticed this is a specific
Too real.
thing. It's not fun.
It can't be
it's
fun.
great and not fun. This is like at the Chiefs football game. And I keep harping on this because it's like I love the Chiefs.
Yeah,
Right.
'cause you're Kyle Latt.
Travis Kelce's brother Jason
Oh,
Kelce
yeah, it's delightful.
took his shirt off when Travis scored and jumped out of the suite into the crowd. This, I think, I could do a whole podcast about how I think
And
Jason
killed
Kelce
6
is the
men.
only healthy American man. And I mean that in all aspects.
I love that.
I love him. He's the only good representation of what I would call textbook masculinity. Not the only, but he's the best.
Yeah.
I think that because he's good at all the stuff that fake masculine guys pretend to be good at to
He's
get
the
attention.
apex, yeah.
He's a giant bear. Anyways, he jumped out of the thing. Well, I'll do it. I think about him all because I have a younger
Picked
brother.
up a kid and brought her to
thinks
wave
about it.
over
He
at
did,
Taylor
but when
Swift.
he left the suite, she had to recess to the back for safety. And if that isn't a good look of like, oh, Jason's out there amongst the crowd. Yeah, because if she jumped out of there, it would ruin her life.
Yeah,
like
that's
it's just that's not a fun thing. He is the most famous anyone should ever hope to be.
Yeah.
And it seems anything beyond that is detrimental to actually having a life. He got to jump around and have fun with people who like him. And she
without getting murdered or
she
kidnapped,
for her
yeah.
literal safety, whether or not it was unsafe for her instincts, I cannot be near an open window.
Yeah. Isn't that insane?
So he carried a fan over to say hi, and she can't even come up and say hi to people
She's
in
like,
person.
wave from a
she has to
distance,
wave from
yeah.
the back
Yeah.
because of what expectations then become. And it's wild. That's not a real person.
Did you watch the Dream Team documentary? Did either of you watch that about the 92
No.
Dream Team documentary? So it's really
I
interesting.
assume
'cause-
Michael
I
Jordan
actually
put it out
think I
right when
did.
LeBron James won a gold medal.
I did, but I have no memory.
So there's this one scene where like they're in Barcelona and like obviously like all of these famous guys can't go anywhere without getting mobbed, except John Stockton, because John Stockton just looks like a dude. He looks like a dad. Like
he blended in Utah where he played.
So he would walk around, and there'd be people with his face. They'd have those like the big head shirts that 1992 had, and he'd be like talking to people. And they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm really excited about the game." He's like, "Yeah, who's favorite players? Or do you know any players?"
Right.
And he's just like, "I'm that guy." And they're like, "No, you're not."
He does look like royalty-free guy.
He does.
Like he's like you. He has a copyright-free face.
He should be nicknamed the Mailman because he looks like a mailman.
Yeah,
not Karl Malone. Wrong jazz person.
Yeah. Karl Malone should be remembered for other things.
For awful, terrible. Things.
I think the only person I think is Michael Jackson. I think is this level of fame that doesn't exist anymore. And then we got to do the podcast because Michael Jackson he got talked into going to a Lakers game by Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson, the most famous basketball player in the world at the time, is like, "Come to the game, Michael Jackson." And Michael Jackson's like, "I can't." And he's like, "Come on." I go there, and he's like, Michael Jackson's like, "You don't understand." And he's like, "I cannot go." And Magic Johnson's like, "We won't tell anyone you're coming. Just come sit in the corner. It's fine." And so a little bit into the game, Michael Jackson walked in, and everyone went so crazy, they stopped the game.
What?
The fans went so wild that Michael Jackson like sat down and like was like sorry, and then had to leave, and then no one calmed down, and then they had to play this like ruckus game because Michael Jackson wasn't. And this is the internet's not around. People aren't like having access to all the time.
But he is also the only black person they let on MTV at the time. Like.
If you can't see, unfortunately, Jeff did quotes when he said black.
It was at the time. I said at the time.
All right. What are we looking at? Give me a time code here. 29 minutes. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back with some games here on the podcast.
Yeah.
Does anyone need anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, we're getting in some games. We'll see how much of that makes it into the first part of this. I had a good time. I just want to talk to people about Wonka. I couldn't...
Is this going to be an all Wonka game themed scenario here?
The Wonk. Wonk.
You guys are close, huh?
Me and the Wonk.
I'm on a 3/4 name basis with Wonk.
Oh, my God.
So here we go. We have a few games I want to play. I asked the two of you some movies you hadn't seen, and we played this game for the first time last time on the podcast with you, Lindsay. How this game works is I printed off a famous scene from a movie you haven't seen, and you will be reading a part that has been partially redacted from that scene, and you have to riff the redacted lines.
Awesome. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Who had the more egregious list of movies they hadn't seen?
It was actually pretty comparable, honestly.
I love that.
Idea.
It was you went down. You had different methods to get them to me. Jeff, you went through like highest grossing
the
films,
100
and
top
you were like, what are the
grossing
ones I haven't
films.
seen? And Lindsay, your husband, yelled at stuff at you.
Yes.
So it was a similar distribution
Yeah.
effect. I will say, one I tried to do, Lindsay, you'd never seen Eternal Sunshine.
No.
And I wanted to look for a scene from that movie to cut out some of the lines, and I was watching clips and looking through the script and just getting too fucking sad. It was fucking bumming me out. All of the most famous scenes from that movie are fucking bummers.
I think about that movie like a gun on my nightstand.
Yeah.
Like if I'm sad and I look
get
at it,
hard?
I'm like, this is not.
That's what
gonna
I
be
feel
good.
like.
Never
It's like
mind.
a real male. I feel like
it was the first time. Well, there's like 8 movies we're allowed to feel during.
Yeah, and
I
I
have
feel
one.
like that's what every dude I went to art school with was like Eternal Sunshine, and I feel like that's also why I'm like and including my husband, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's also why I refuse to watch it.
I've watched it once and it was fine, but like for me, it's like if I'm like, I always find Good Will Hunting when I'm depressed.
Oh yeah,
I love
And
it.
boy, am I a stereotype.
no, that movie where if a guy was smart.
Yeah, like what if a guy was smart? What if a guy with
If a guy was smart, and then they gave them Oscars. No, I love that movie.
what if a guy
Guy.
with my accent was smart?
What if a guy knew math?
I really do. I mean, I think that movie holds up. What holds up about that movie has changed to me over time. To now, it's just Robin Williams is what holds up the most in that movie.
To me, it's like, what if a man hugged me and told me it was going to be okay?
Right. What if
And
an old guy was nice twice, and they were like, this guy won an Academy Award?
Oh my god!
they were like, we will reward you for hugging that young man.
Yeah.
I feel like you should do movie. You should do movie summaries. You should do your own movie summaries.
Yeah. Okay, I think we could do that. I wanted to do a game, and I can't get around to writing it. There's a Disney Channel original movie called The Trash Picking, Field Goal Kicking Philadelphia Phenomenon.
Tony Danza.
Tony Danza stars, as a trash man in Philadelphia whose truck is broke. So he has to kick it to pick up the trash. You know how they shut the back shuts? He has to kick it, and you guys got to go to YouTube for the video, and of me kicking. So then he gets so good at kicking, he makes the Philadelphia Eagles. And then he wins a game by kicking a field goal. But I wanted to trash pick, field goal kick, Philadelphia phenomenize other movie titles. And I think I wrote some. Next break, I'll look it up because I think I wrote a couple. Maybe I even fucking did it. I have no memory anymore. Pieces of my brain have been cut out. Sure. And so my memory is bad.
That's understandable.
I like that the Philadelphia Eagles have constantly been the we'll let a regular Joe come on to our
Miracle?
team. So like you have, there's not Miracle. That's the hockey one you're thinking of.
What is it?
Unbreakable? No.
It's Mark Wahlberg. Invincible.
Invincible. And then they Invincibled Always Sunny.
All right, everybody. This game is called the Trash Picking, Field Goal Kicking, Philadelphia Phenomenon Renaming, Guessing Game, Never Seen It, Pod Kyle, Come On and Nomming Game.
Of course.
And so how this is going to work is, like I said, I found the document. I don't think I ever did this.
You opened your laptop.
Well, if you type in trash pick field kick, you don't have a lot of options that pop up.
The fact that you had to get to field kick was actually a bit of a step.
That's because I was on Indeed.com for the first part. The podcast isn't doing great. So here we go. I'm going to read you. I trash pick, field goal kick, Philadelphia phenomenized a movie title. If I've done this on here, I'm sorry, everyone. I don't think I have.
Yeah, but it's new to us.
It's new to you
it's
too.
New to me.
Here we go. I'll tell you the title. You tell me what movie I trash pick, field goal picked. This is the top spinning, dream picking, heist on an airplane phenomenon.
Oh, it's that one with Idris Elba. Well, there's so many.
Could you say it again?
The top spinning, dream picking, heist on an airplane phenomenon.
God, why? Oh, it's Inception.
Inception.
Yeah.
Oh. I forgot that movie.
Here we go.
I did too.
That's fine.
I was like, Freddy on
Isn't
a
that
plane?
part of the movie?
Oh, that's Inception.
The bench-sitting, chocolate-simileing, runs-through-history phenomenon.
You know this one.
No, I don't.
The bench-sitting, chocolate-simileing runs
Forrest
through
Gump,
this...
Forrest Gump. Sorry.
That's fine. Here, all right, we're going to...
I appreciate
I don't think
the
they get any harder.
We were talking about City Walk not too long ago. You got to have Bubba Gump ready to go.
I appreciate the layup.
The jewelry-carrying, feet-covered and harrying Middle-earth phenomenons.
That's the Lord
There we go.
of the Rings.
And then this is when I got into, like, now I'm going to... Because those three were the ones I wrote to invent the concept.
Yeah, those are the easy.
Here's the next one.
layups,
The chain-breaking, supposed treasure-seeking, rural Mississippi phenomenons.
Chain breaking.
Supposed treasure-seeking, rural Mississippi phenomenons.
Rural Mississippi?
Is this Oh Brother Where Art
It
Thou?
is Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Oh.
So there's that game.
I was like, Fled? Is it Fled?
It might be.
Like,
It might be more than one movie.
Interesting.
So I think there's something to that game.
No, I think you should make that like an absolutely regular
Throw it in the
I think it's so
rotation.
good. But I also think you writing movie summaries, like elevator pitches, really good.
I think we'll do that. I like what's the most obscure way I can describe a movie and you still know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, when you said like if dudes were smart.
If dudes were smart.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
What
is
if a man was
If I went up to
smart?
someone
Yeah.
and said, what's the
That's what
movie
it was.
where if a guy was smart, they would get to a Good Will Hunting in under 5.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Yeah, see?
It would be like A Beautiful Mind and then A Good Will Hunting.
Exactly.
It would be like literally like a one.
There's only so many.
You're like, it does have a chalkboard, and you're like, oh, it's Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to do.
Also,
I have printed off a movie scene and redacted part of that movie scene.
I literally can't wait for you to experience this side of it.
You will have to.
this is gonna be something.
You will play the redacted part if it's the movie you haven't seen. I have one for each of you.
Great.
So the first movie that we're going to do, Jeff, you have not seen Titanic.
I sure haven't.
Great
That's
movie.
crazy.
You guys should look it up.
You know what's fun? I love James Cameron, but his 3 biggest movies, I'm like, I'm good.
This is the easiest one to you could because this is a one. I say boat movie, and you're like maybe saying Jaws if you're pretentious.
Yeah,
but
no,
you're
I
saying
would say Titanic.
I don't think Jaws is the pretentious choice of boat movie.
I do because I think you're plucking it from a line and shark
Literally
movie.
the first blockbuster in history.
Oh, I thought that
The summer blockbuster.
Titanic was?
No, Jaws.
Oh,
Jaws.
Jaws.
Yeah.
It created the summer blockbuster.
I can't think about. Anyways, so I printed off this
It's
scene. I want to tell the
Steven
story
Spielberg.
about. There's this. Jaws is good. I've only seen Jaws full 3D.
I've never seen it.
I've seen Jaws 3D, and it was all right with Michael Caine.
Jaws is
Here we go.
phenomenal.
So I printed off a scene from Titanic, a famous scene from Titanic. You, Jeff, you'll be playing Rose.
I will?
Titanic, yes.
Okay.
So Rose has some of her lines redacted. You have to fill in the redacted lines. Lindsay, you'll be Jack, and I will read the stage directions. I think I did pretty good with the redactions here and the printing and stuff. I felt good about. Jeff, you'll also be Old Rose.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which may be a spoiler to you.
The
fact that there is one.
It's like I do exist in the zeitgeist enough to know about Titanic.
Well,
Sure.
we'll see.
Yeah,
Okay.
like-
And for everyone playing along at home, this is from page 87 of the shooting script. Here's what I wanted to do King of the World? You know the scene where he goes, I'm King of the
Yeah.
World? Riff.
it's a
Not
whole
in the
riff,
script.
not in
I
the
can't
script.
believe it.
Not in the script. Can you believe that?
That's why
I'm King of
Cameron
the World,
riffed
not
it when
in
he
the
won.
script.
I can't. What a choice, too. What if that went over poorly?
It did.
James Cameron, like, two-hand farts after Leonardo DiCaprio riffs I'm King of the
I'm
World.
King of the World. Why'd you do that?
All right,
dude?
cut. Okay, here we go. So Jeff has not seen Titanic, but he will be improvising part of the actual script from Titanic. Clunk. She unlocks the safe. Glancing up, she meets his eyes in the mirror behind the safe. She opens it and removes the necklace, then holds it out to Jack, who takes it nervously.
What is it? A sapphire?
A diamond? A very rare diamond? I don't know. Called the... I know. It's like the heart of the sea?
Jack gazes at wealth beyond his comprehension.
I want you to... I know this one, but I want to say something else. I want you to draw me like one of your French girls wearing diamond.
Why do you keep saying diamond like this? You're like a guy pitching baseball.
Wearing only diamond.
He looks up at her, surprised, and we cut to scene 104, Rose's bedroom on the butterfly comb. As Rose draws it out of her hair, she shakes her head and her hair falls freely around her shoulders. In the sitting room, Jack is laying out his pencils like surgical tools. His sketchbook is open and ready. He looks up as she comes into the room wearing a silk kimono.
The last thing I need is another diamond.
Why would you type diamond 30 times?
James was on one at the time. The last thing I need is another drawing of me wearing this diamond. As a paying customer, I expect to get satisfaction.
She hands him a dime. It's almost diamond. She hands him a mound of dimes and steps back, parting the kimono. The blue stone lies on her creamy breast. Her heart is pounding. I did some punch-ups.
Is that...
No, he wrote creamy.
He wrote that?
You guys, what you need to do is watch a movie. We'll talk about this in a minute.
Yeah.
Her heart is pounding as she slowly lowers the robe. Jack, that was his typo, looks
Great.
so stricken it is almost comical. The kimono drops to the floor. This is all in cuts. Lyrical. Rose.
Tell me, Jack. Do you like diamonds?
She poses on the divan, settling like a cat into the position we remember from the drawing, almost.
Just bend your left leg a little and lower your head. Eyes to me. That's it.
Jack starts to sketch. He drops his pencil, and she stifles a laugh.
I believe you're blushing, Mr. Jack. I can't imagine a drawing without this diamond.
He does landscapes.
Tied on Jack as his eyes come up, and we look over the top edge of the sketch pad. We've seen this image of him before in her memory. It is an image she'll carry the rest of her life. Despite his nervousness, he draws with sure strokes, and what emerges as the best thing he has ever done. This is a guy that's a sad life. Her pose is languid, her hands beautiful, and her eyes radiate her energy. Pushed slowly in on Rose's face. Transition. Interior, the imaging shack. Keldish, I guess that's the boat. Match dissolved morph to Rose, 101 years old. Only her eyes are the same. Old Rose.
My Jack was the diamond the whole time. It was the most Jacky diamond of my life.
That's not
Diamond? Like,
Jackie Diamond.
All right, take this seriously.
Cut to reverse. A semicircle of listeners staring in rapt, frozen silence. The story of Jack and Rose has finally completely grabbed them. Someone named Bodine says, "What happened next?"
You mean, did we fuck?
Cut to, he thinks she said, "Did we fuck" in Titanic. Interior Rosencal suite, back to 1912. Jack is signing the drawing. Rose, wearing her kimono again, is leaning on his shoulder, watching. We hear an old Rose voiceover.
And with that, Jack drew me naked with a diamond.
Rose gazes at the drawing. He has x-rayed her soul. Young Rose.
Stuff it, Jack. I want satisfaction.
Good scene.
Oh my god, great job.
Thank you.
Wait, didn't he get that part Heart of the Sea?
I think it's
Right?
called the Heart
So
of the
I've
Sea.
heard
Literally.
that.
It's called Heart of the Sea.
But I don't know if it's a diamond, like a rare.
I
So
think it's like a big ass diamond.
I'm playing the numbers game here.
Ruby or something.
Like if I'm gonna hit, I mean, it seems like it would be a sapphire if it's blue. But I figured if I said diamond enough times, one of those would be right, and that would get me a point.
Yeah,
Yes.
maybe. I mean,
Well, there's no point.
When you-
but
no.
you sure did say
Oh,
diamond
when
a
you-
lot.
Well, then I did win. Then.
what this needs to teach people is what you can do is watch a movie you like along with was the highest grossing film of all time. Watch a movie along with the script and see that you can write a script. I mean that I actually mean that in a literal motivational way.
For sure.
I watched, don't do it with Boogie Nights because it will make you think you can't write a script because you're like, this is the greatest thing I've ever read in my life.
Yeah.
And this guy made it when he was 27. This is absurd. I did that with a few
I'm
movies.
bad at stuff.
And it really, really makes you think you can do it because you can.
Yeah.
Anyone can write a movie.
Anybody can put creamy breast.
I needed that for
into
later.
a,
Look at what we just read. He spelled Jack wrong in the script for Titanic.
know, it's crazy.
He spelled Jack wrong.
I think we're also just breezing past the creamy breast line.
Creamy
which
breast
is
is my
he
that
called
might
breasts
be-
creamy.
That might be the most jarring way to describe a breast I have ever heard.
You got to watch Titanic. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
let's
Dem's
not pretend.
creamy.
Let's not pretend I have not seen that scene.
You've
Like-
seen the creamy breast.
You ain't seen a tea till you've seen a creamy tea.
I was 17 in 1998 and 1999.
Oh, then it's crazy you didn't see it. You didn't even
I
take
was
a girl
dumb
out.
boy. Did you see what do you know what I looked like when I was
I
17?
forgot. I forgot.
No, I didn't take a girl out.
well, I think you did a pretty good job.
Thank you.
Haven't
Yeah,
seen
I
Titanic.
think- I
You
think
kind
you
of
did a
nailed
great job.
what the conversation was.
You did.
Seemed very diamond centric in the film.
Sure.
Sure.
Doesn't she chuck that thing off the boat at the end?
She drops it.
I think Chuck is the creamy breast description of how she lets go of it.
Exactly. She lets it fall through her wrinkly fingers.
She is so old, gravity almost hurts her hand ripping it from her.
Yeah.
Got her back blown out twice in that movie, if you know what I'm talking about.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. All right, everybody, we're back. I love that game. I think that's a lot of fun. We have
So
two more games.
good.
We have three more games we're going to play because I wanted to do some games we don't play very often. No before and afters, no Kyle Dad. We're bringing back some old games. We're doing another round of that last game, which I don't have a really good name for yet.
What? Of
That's
the
not
one we
bad.
just did?
That's not a bad title. What was that one we just did? Yeah, that game. I don't have a good title for this just yet.
Redacted.
Redacted. Oh, how about Redacted Tonight? That way it can be Googleable.
There you go.
Yeah, it has very Mad Libs energy.
It does, which is what makes it so funny.
Sad Libs.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that's just everybody in 2016.
At least till November. All right. So now on this one, this is a movie neither of you have seen. You both sent me extensive lists of movies you hadn't seen, and there was only one overlap, and it was Casablanca. Neither of you have seen Casablanca.
We suck.
Based on
I
this
know.
podcast, no one has ever seen because everyone always lists like 8 movies in Casablanca for what they haven't seen. Casablanca, one of the more famous quote
Yeah.
all-time AFI list
Absolutely.
this, Hollywood this, Chinese theater this. It is very famous. So I took a famous scene from Casablanca and I redacted 2 parts. And Jeff, you'll be Rick, and Lindsay, you'll be Lisa.
Okay.
I think it's Lisa is their name. Ilsa.
Does she change her name to Louis? Because I know that line.
And so I'll play Renault. And so this is a famous scene from Casablanca, read by 2 people who've never seen it, with the important parts redacted out. Page 119, by the way, if anyone's following along. The orderly escorts Laszlo off in the direction of the plane. Rick takes the letters of transit out of his pocket and hands them to Renault, who turns and walks towards the hangar. Rick.
And the names are Mr.
No. We're back here at the bottom of this page.
Wait, what?
The bottom of the first page.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, if you don't mind, you fill in the names. That will make it even more official.
You think of everything, don't you?
And the names are Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
That's a hard swing there. That's no diamond swing, but Renault stops dead in his tracks and turns around. Both Ilsa and Renault look at Rick with astonishment.
But why the fuck, Richard?
Because you're getting on my nerves, that's why.
Ilsa's confused.
I don't understand. What did I do?
I'm telling him, oh, wait, whoop. I'm messing with him till the cows come home.
Rick's intention suddenly dawns on Ilsa.
No, Richard. No. What about last night? We said...
Last night, we said a lot of things, baby. You said I was too good in the sack. Well, I've done a lot of it since then, and it all adds up to one thing. The lives of two people don't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy world.
But Richard, your fly is down.
You got to listen to me. Do you have an idea as to whether or not I actually got that last line right?
It was pretty close.
9 chances out of 10, we'd both wind up dead. Isn't that true, Louis or Louis?
Renault countersigns the papers. I'm afraid Major Strasser would insist.
You're a son of a bitch.
I'm a huge son of a bitch, and inside of us, we both know it. Ilsa, you're getting on that plane. If that plane leaves the ground and you're not in it, you'll regret it.
Fuck.
Maybe not right now. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow, but soon. And someday, you'll regret it.
But I don't get it.
You're definitely in the energy of how women were written then.
You're like, you crazy dame.
You have the depth figured out and nailed.
I'll send you to the sanitarium. You
Right.
talk to me
The
like that
ambition
again.
allowed is coming across.
Give me a lobotomy.
Oh, God. We'll always have Cairo.
No, but close.
We'd lost it until you got on that goddamn plane and we got it back. So get back on the plane, lady.
And I said I would always remember last night.
And yet you never will. But I put something in your drink because it's the 1930s and 1940s. Where I'm going, you're not going to remember either. What I've got to do is a very important thing that only men can do while women are sitting home having their periods. Elsa, I'm no good at being a man.
It was just so everyone knows there was like 2 words redacted out there.
But I'm no good at being a man, but it doesn't take much to see that you're way worse at being a man because you're a woman. And women can't do anything in 1944. Someday you'll understand that. Now.
Ilsa's eyes well up with tears. Rick puts her hand to her chin and raises her face to meet his own.
I'll slap the shit out of you.
Scene.
Yes.
Well, that
like-
last one was Here's Looking at You, Kid, but...
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I forgot that's this movie.
You know, a thing I didn't know about this movie is he says that a bunch. I Command F to Here's Looking at You, Kid to find this scene, and it was like, oh, it's in here 4 times.
Shut
this
up.
lazy-ass movie.
That's crazy.
That's like if the shark was in Jaws twice.
I knew the Hill of Beans because of Ninja Turtles 2.
That is definitely a line.
It's from
You don't
Secret
amount
of
to
the
more than a
Ooze,
hill
yeah.
of beans. I think
The
you
lives are
missed
too-
where it was, but I think
know,
it was exactly
So
that.
the lives of
I
two
had-
people don't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy world, and that's why you're getting on that plane.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have like absolutely zero. I just know there's a dress.
This is in the air. This is on the airstrip. He's trying to get her to leave and go with her husband because if she stays, they'll both be in concentration camps. at some point. We always had Paris.
Oh, I actually
well, I was
love a
surprised.
Holocaust storyline. Is that what we're
Yeah,
talking
this
about?
is anti-Holocaust.
Yeah, this is
Why does it Holocaust?
You did
it's like
say
I,
Holocaust.
Sorry, I'm trying
It's a
to. I know
Christmas
I know
war
it's
movie,
juicing
yeah.
by making a Christmas
You-
thing.
that's actually what the Germans called
the
it.
Holocaust.
Don't you know what Deck the Holly means?
Yeah, no, I mean, I thank you, Michelangelo, the turtle, for giving me those lines.
Right.
But also, like, it's very hard to exist in a world and not know certain quotes from Casablanca.
I mean, Here's looking at you, kid. If I'd left Here's, you would have got it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I blocked that one completely out. I think I'll throw the blocked out scripts up on Discord if you guys are listening. If you want to see exactly what's blocked out, join the Discord. Just a big message board for fans. fart.kylairs.com is where you get a link to that. And there's you can play the games. There's a bunch of people on there. It's fun.
I love that.
All right, we're going to play a game now. There is a music for this one. It says trivia, rapid fire, something like that.
It's rapid fire trivia about a movie. We're seeing the movie. We're definitely help you with the trivia.
This is rapid fire trivia about a movie where if you'd seen the movie, it would probably help.
Oh, shit.
I have 10 questions here about a movie that one of you has not seen and the other one of you fell asleep for an hour during it. Normally I ask one person to leave, but I think I'm just gonna let you both answer and just don't cheat.
Okay. Don't help each other.
Don't help each other.
Okay. Or else we won't make it to the finals.
Let me see if there's a way to kind of... Yeah, I don't think you're going to have the same answer for any of these, so it won't come up.
Okay.
So this is about Oppenheimer. Jeff, you have not seen Oppenheimer. Lindsay, you fell asleep for an hour during Oppenheimer.
People are
to be fair, you
mad that
barely
I-
missed any of it.
Yeah.
People are mad I did not see Oppenheimer. by the
Really?
way. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. It seems like it's long.
It is long.
Yep,
It
I'm
is.
good.
Is long, also the girl from the last movie. So I'm going to ask you 10 questions about Oppenheimer. If you'd seen it, it probably would help.
Hope my history degree
And we
helps.
will see who can do better
You might know from history.
on this trivia quiz. All right? So here we go. And both of you just shout out whatever you think the answer is, and I'll
Okay.
see whoever's closest. Within 5 minutes, how long is Oppenheimer?
3 hours and 6 minutes.
195 minutes.
What's that, 3:15?
Yeah.
Within $25 million, how much did Oppenheimer earn worldwide?
Oh, fuck. I don't know. 76 million?
Is this Price is Right rules? Because
It's not, no, within 25 million.
I would
You can
say
go over, it's fine.
625 million.
All right, here we go.
Oh, that feels like.
I'm actually going to
probably
skip
closer.
this one. This one's name. You know what? We won't. Going back and forth, name actors who appeared in the movie, and whoever can name one last wins this round.
Would you like
I'm
me
sorry.
to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I will go Cillian Murphy,
Okay, Florence Pugh,
Matt Damon,
Emma Blunt.
Emily Blunt. That's the same. That's the same.
Whatever.
Thing, right? That's the same thing. That counts.
Yeah, Emily Blunt. Sorry.
Robert Downey Jr.
Um,
I'm now going to have to pull it up.
Robert Downey Jr. Ooh, it's blurring together. I think I'm done.
All right, Jeff to win it all.
Feels like John Hamm is in it.
He is not. And I have talked about that on this, about how insane it is that he's not in Oppenheimer.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Did you
that
see
was
me
one of your
going on
clips.
this huge fucking rant about why this guy's face is for this
Yeah.
fucking movie? If we're not putting John Hamm in Oppenheimer, then this man's not allowed to be in
That
it.
was one of your clips on Instagram, wasn't
probably.
it?
Wasn't it? Isn't it? Isn't that guy from 10 Things I Hate About You who's in everything in Oppenheimer?
Probably
Larry
King.
Who? No. It's like he's like he always plays like the
Oh.
like the Jewish friend. The like.
I haven't seen that.
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
The thing that happened,
Michael
there's a lot of very famous faces in this movie because Christopher Nolan said he purposefully filled it. Oh, also Rami Malek was one.
Oh,
but
that's
he's in it for
right.
7 seconds. He said he cast as famous of people as he could, so everyone could tell the difference between the 38 white guys on screen at the same time. Actually,
Is the guy who played Einstein? That's not Ben Wasserman, is it? Is that
I don't
his
think
name?
so. But I don't know. All right, here we go. What's up? Oh, there we go.
See,
Next up, so we're going to call that one a wash. Next up, how long and whatever distance you choose was the IMAX film print of the movie?
I don't know. I have no context for this.
I'm gonna guess.
You didn't watch it when you were watching the movie? You didn't watch the IMAX film print
No,
unveil?
I don't even know what a film print is.
Like the big
I mean,
old
it's
reel.
Gotta
That's
be
what I
like,
thought.
it's gotta be like 4 miles or something, right? Like,
I'm gonna go with 700 yards.
At the UK premiere, which Oppenheimer actor declared this was the best film I'd ever been in?
Cillian Murphy.
Robert Downey Jr.
Who was Oppenheimer talking to when he said, I came to you with those calculations, we thought we might start a chain reaction that would destroy the world?
The character.
Who was Robert Oppenheimer talking to?
Einstein.
We're both going with that, I guess.
That's a guy we've heard of.
Exactly.
What was the tagline for the film? I'll give this to whoever's closer.
Oh, fuck me.
Oppenharder. Oh, no, that's the sequel coming up.
Oppenheimlich maneuver?
Oppenheimer 2, Oppenharder.
A big boom.
I have become death. Destroyer of
Oh, that sounds, closer than...
Well, that's just a quote he said.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
just-
Richard Feynman, played by Jack Quaid, the guy from
Oh,
The
yeah.
Boys,
the guy
can be
from-
seen playing what instrument multiple times throughout the film?
Clarinet?
Violin? No, piano. I'm changing my answer to piano.
What was the working title of the movie?
Oh, fuck me.
All right.
It's going to get a real specific crowd.
Actually, he didn't show it from the Japanese point of view.
Destroyer of Worlds, I'll say.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Again, I'm just trying to remember what shit I learned.
Lindsay, do you want to go with "Oh fuck me"?
Yeah, I'll go with oh, fuck me.
And last one, because he testified against her husband years earlier, near the end of the film, Kitty Oppenheimer refuses what from Edward Teller?
Money?
An award of some sort.
All right, here we go. We're going to recap these and see who did better. Within 5 minutes, how long is Oppenheimer? Lindsay said 3 hours and 6 minutes. Jeffy said 3 hours, 50 minutes. It's exactly 3 hours. So, Lindsay, you were 1 minute away from the window, but I'm going to give it to you.
Oh my
Congratulations.
Within $25 million, how much did Oppenheimer earn worldwide? It earned $953 million.
That's so much money.
So, Jeff is a little bit closer there.
God. A little
Thank you, Greta Gerwig, for that.
Wash. It is. I saw this about Oppenheimer. It's the highest grossing movie ever to never be number one at the box office.
hilarious.
How long and whatever distance you choose was the IMAX film print of the movie? It's 11 miles long.
God, that's
So it's like this wrapped up ball of film that's 11 miles long. Lindsay, you said 700 yards.
I don't know how much that is.
that is
Not
that's
quite a
like
mile.
a little over half a mile. A little under half a
At
mile.
the UK
actually.
premiere, which Oppenheimer actor declared this was the best film I'd ever been in, it was Robert Downey Jr.
Whoa.
Yeah, I
Can
kind
you
of got
believe
that
he
vibe.
said that this was better than his cameo in Spider-Man Homecoming?
Whoa. Can I tell you, I actually, when you said Robert Downey Jr. originally, I was like, he wasn't in it. So that's how much I remember.
Well, didn't he
He
just win?
showed up to the premiere of a movie he wasn't in to say how good it was.
I was like, buddy, you got this one wrong.
He's like, all my movies are shit. No, he just won a Golden Globe for it, didn't he?
He at least
Cool.
probably was nominated because all of his scenes were black and white.
No, I legitimately think he won the
He might
Golden
have.
Globe for
Oh
like
yeah, did
supporting
he like
actor.
say some shit? He like said some sassy stuff my mom texted me about. I forgot.
He's a sassy guy, that Robert Downey
He was
Jr.
like, that Joe Coy really killed it.
a lot of sass for someone who went to prison.
You guys both got Einstein right. That is who he was talking to right there.
Hell yeah.
What is the tagline for the movie? Lindsay said a big boom, and Jeffy said I've become death. It is the world forever changes.
That's a
I'm
terrible
going to say
title.
no one gets a point.
Yeah.
In fact, Christopher Nolan loses a point.
Good.
Richard
call.
Feynman, played by Jack Quaid, is playing bongo drums. Apparently, the guy he's playing, who's a real person, Richard Feynman, played bongo drums.
They put him in the bomb.
What do you think is closer to bongo drums, piano or clarinet? We're going to the judge in the booth for this one.
Bongo drums or clarinet?
Piano or clarinet? What's closer to bongo drums?
Piano.
Yeah.
Okay,
Piano's a
piano.
percussion
I agree.
instrument, isn't it?
Yeah.
What was the working title of the film? Oh, Fuck Me or Destroyer of Worlds? It
I
was
think-
Gadget.
What?
I'm giving that to
I'm
Lindsay,
giving that to
actually.
Lindsay as
yeah.
well.
Thank you.
Because gadgets are tough to put together. It's like it's
Unintentional.
IKEA furniture.
Oh, I thought you meant because you can fuck yourself with a gadget.
Because he
Oh, good
testified
call.
against her husband years earlier, Kitty Oppenheimer, in real life as well, refused Edward Teller a handshake, and it like ruined his life.
Oh.
He's very upset she wouldn't shake his hand.
Maybe he shouldn't have testified.
To me, it's like insane that you expected that. Money or an award?
I mean,
I'm going to give Lindsay that one as well.
thank you so much.
So we have 1, 2.
If it's by one,
3,
I'm gonna
4,
jump over this
1,
table.
2, 3. It is a 4-4 tie.
I'll
4-4 tie.
accept it.
So did you
Wow.
know
I'll
you don't
accept
learn a
it.
single thing watching Oppenheimer about Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
That's what we figured out today.
You can generally just float in the
yeah.
world, and
Yeah.
you can get as much information as we
I
see it.
retained literally nothing.
Well, that's it for us. Thank you both for being here.
course.
Let everyone know what you've got going on and where to find you. Jeff, since you got the Flintstones, you go ahead and go first.
I would never actually.
No.
Ladies first, of
Oh,
course.
wow. Okay, well, I don't really have anything going on except that I need you to follow me on Instagram at Lindsay Adams is Popular. You can also follow me on TikTok at Lindsay Adams is Popular, where I post croissant reviews, stand-up clips, and other stupid shit.
The big three.
The big three. I also have an album coming out this year. Do I know when? No, but stay tuned.
Any live shows if people are in Los Angeles
Oh,
where
wow.
they can
Thanks
catch
so
you?
much. Yes, I host 2 live shows, Saturdays and Mondays. Please, again, follow me on Instagram for more information.
Well, I have a lot of cool friends, and I have a show called Jeff Has Cool Friends, which you can check out early access to uncensored episodes with bonus content at patreon.com/JeffMay, Jeffmay. Current guest as of recording is Bailey Norton. Very, very fun person. I don't know if anybody knows her.
I'm a big fan.
But great episode, really fun. And I also do great shows like Ugh Fine, which is exclusive with Kim Crawl, a show called Nerd with Dre Alvarez, where we just do a monthly deep dive on stuff. I do a show called Tom and Jeff Watch Batman on Gamefully Unemployed. So if any of you are Cracked fans from the good days, not the nowadays, you can check that out on Gamefully Unemployed. And on Adam Todd Brown, I do a bunch of shows with him, again, originally from Cracked. And we used to be called Unpopular Opinion. Now it's called You Don't Even Like Podcasts. It's a network. Blast from the Past, second Friday of every month is Mint on Card. I do a lot of shit. Bye.
2 people here who run
Shit.
stand-up comedy shows that have no business being as good as they are. Whether they're outside or in a comic book shop that is
It shouldn't exist.
right in the middle of the comic book. Yeah,
The show should be bad.
It is.
It should be bad, and it's
And that's
not.
part of why they're great.
Well, we just had our 8th anniversary, and the Burbank Leader, which is like the Burbank newspaper,
Yeah.
like did a
I
whole
thought that's just what they called their
story.
mayor.
Well, also, your audience is like so there for it.
These are people who, like, after the show, are like, I now follow and engage with what you're doing.
these-
and you're like, oh.
So here's the trick for that is that we never chase fans of comedians ever. We just tried to slowly build up fans of the show. And that was like,
if you chase fans of comedians, you can usually catch them.
it's, but it's like, I'll see like people will do like headliners in LA. I'm like, why are you doing a headliner in LA? Like, nobody cares.
So they
There's
can
a-
cancel or phone it in.
I'm like,
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
a billion things to do every night in LA.
Yeah.
And they're like, we got Todd Glass, who's amazing. But it's like, I don't know if that's selling tickets here. This isn't.
Just
We
make it a
have-
good thing
Kansas
people
We
want
have
to go
one
to.
of the best comedians in LA reading from their notebook. So
Yeah,
Like,
actually, we
it's-
booked that dead mountain lion.
Oh no,
I would see that.
the P22 show.
I almost called it K2. I think that's a
K2?
artificial weed.
That's the second tallest. That's the
Second tallest mountain.
the mountain in Africa,
Soon to
right?
be tallest
guys
mountain
have
in the
so
world.
much information
Soon
in
to be
your brain.
tallest mountain in the next 50,000 years.
I'm a trivia guy.
All right, if you guys are fans of mountains, check out K2. Check that one out. Everest is a big one. Go check that one out. I got some stuff you should read. And thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
Hey, I love you.
I've never seen